Pain Gaming going to be taken to the blue side, ITZ to the red.
Yeah, and of course, on this draft here, we have of course got Pain Gaming going to be banning away that Kaiser first of all. Pretty mainstay pick in the bans department right now. Not obviously permaban like the Pantheon previously had been,
Mm.
but definitely worthwhile taking off the board.
Yeah, actually, it's been a while, dude. Did you know Pantheon's a trash pick now? You can just let him all the way through the draft. You can just,
Oh,
yeah.
I did not know that. Ah, I see.
Apparently, that's just the way things go. Is he completely fell through last game? I'm curious to see whether he does get banned away this time, because clearly teams do have different priorities. The other thing that I'm looking for is that Xayah and Gnar combination that we've seen go two different ways already.
I always love that, seeing two different teams pilot the same sort of basis of a composition, and Zaya and Nara are fairly coherent in what they want to achieve. It's that
Mm.
sort of late game team fight esque style. But overall, we'll have to wait and see, of course, if Zaya comes on through. Zaya typically picked up as a more generic counter, I will say, to most compositions. You know, Zaya's not so strong that she's the B1 be all and end all that you want to take into every single composition. But something that I have noticed is that things like Senna have really not been getting picked up, and be it that they're banned or be it that teams just aren't valuing it, I think that CBLOL is sleeping on a pretty strong pick.
Yeah, I actually, Rudin, I'm gonna have to get you to coach me on how Senna works now, because I'm so used to playing her with her big burst lethality thing. This attack speed has really been catching me off guard. Udyr is going to be the final ban, and that means Pantheon is available, but as we all know, trash pick, don't take it. Instead, you take Camille for Robo.
Oh, okay, and taking this one away from Bowl as well. I know that Bowl's a big Camille aficionado. Camille as well, very strong at the minute, and I'm not sure if that's an 81% win rate, and I think it is right there. Camille
Uh,
has just looked so strong in CB law right now that honestly, I really don't see the reason not to be picking it up first round, even if it's not an 81% win rate. Camille has always looked so strong. He's just such an incredibly potent champion. Not only can she split push, she can team fight incredibly well, and you can just always look strong on the pick.
I mean, it's either a win rate or it's like the tax percentage that she takes for your wins, which I don't think makes a lot of sense. So I'm gonna go with it. Rel being the first lock in is nice. I see Rel quite a bit. Her presence is high. I don't see her as a first round necessarily. Jarvan would be an even bigger departure from that, and I don't want to see that. There we go. Gnar being locked in makes much more sense for INTZ.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we'll have to wait and see if we do get that Zaya coming on through for INTZ, because it is a really good, strong pick into the Camille as well. You can immune the Hextech Ultimatum with your Featherstorm if you're fast enough on the fingers with it. So picking that one up, definitely something that I could see Macau opting into. Meanwhile, Pain Gaming, they are likely to answer with their support, and taking the Gnar into the Camille, it's a fairly 50-50 matchup, to be honest. You might think that Gnar has the advantage with his range, but honestly, the Camille with Tactical Sweep with Hookshot can more than easily close that gap and make this top lane matchup a 50-50, right? A one for one in terms of how well you can play it out, and it does come down to
Oh,
the
yes.
execution.
But we get
Going to be that
Lucy's
Alistair locked
Alistair.
in.
Yes, I'm so excited for it. Lucy's Alistair was something that I noticed last season as being really good, and the fact that he gets his hand on this pick, this, mark my words, Rudy. If they win this game, this is the turning point for Pain Gaming.
Oh, okay. I like the confidence. I think obviously Alistair into Rel, fairly decent matchup for the Alistair. You can fairly coherently disengage and prevent the engage that Rel wants to be putting on through. You also got the ability to shove the Gnar out as well as soon as he tries to jump on and you just hit him with a quick headbutt, and you're able to buy yourself some safety there. But now I feel Zaya priority is increasing with every squad right now, because we've got that same sort of backline dive on two sides right now. We've got Rel, Gnar want to be diving into the backline, and Pain Gaming, Camille, Alistair, they want to do the exact same thing. So you can see that Pain banning away these safer ADCs, Ezreal
Mm.
getting taken off the board seems a little bit weird to me. We haven't got Apollo here today, so the Ezreal ban seems a little bit out of place. But Macau obviously feels pretty comfortable on that champion, so taking that one off the board, and we'll have to see if Zaya comes around as that next ban and really limit the ADC pool even more.
Yeah, she certainly should. The only problem here for Pain is that they'd be kind of left up creek without a paddle if they do decide to instead take the last remaining sort of AD carries off the board as INTZ. With the LeBlanc ban, though, there is going to be a decent amount to work with. I think you can ban the Xayah here instead, opting for that Senna. So we might not see it, but they know it's there.
Yeah, so now I feel like INTZ should just be taking the Xayah themselves.
Mm.
Unless I'm missing an AD carry right here,
Mm.
most of the high priority ADCs have just been taken off the board. Aphelios, the double ban on second round, Kai'Sa as well been taken away. Samira's open, but into both of these compositions, Samira just feels incredibly hard to be trying to navigate. And Pain Gaming
Okay.
take the
It's
Jinx.
insta lock in too. They knew you have to know if you don't ban the
Yeah,
Xayah that it's going to be picked up. This is their answer to it, and I am so happy.
recently buffed as well, so you get increased range with the fish bones. You get not necessarily and more attack speed as well in that rocket range. So this is going to be really interesting to see how BRTT manages to navigate these team fights. A criticism I've had of Pain Gaming has been BRTT's positioning. The last couple of weeks has been faltering in the pivotal moments when he needs to step up the most and carry his team, and just getting caught out time and time again in those late game team fights. He's got himself another late game hyper carry, another scaler into the late game that's going to go even, if not further ahead than the Xayah in terms of late game potential. So really going to have to keep our eyes on this bot side because Macau and BRTT, they've got the weight of their team on their shoulders.
Yeah, and it could not be put better because if we look at Pain Gaming's roster with those last two picks that they take away, the Jinx and then the Galio, they lock themselves into a BRTT and Robo-centric composition. This is all about these two guys, and it's just with that last Galio pickup that really cements their identity. On the other side of this, INTZ, I think, recognize they need early power and respond with the Jarvan, which is not, I think, misplaced.
No, early power is Jarvan's forte. Obviously, he has the ability to find engages and use that cataclysm to look really strong, but later on in the game, he just become that ulti bot. Doesn't particularly do the most damage, and up against something like the Jinx, having that cataclysm to pin her in, always going to be useful. Definitely going to be what they're looking toward, because if you can just keep that Jarvan pin or that Jinx pin down, she's not going to have the opportunity to buy space, buy time. You've got the Northern combo as well to slam them into the cataclysm, that man-made terrain. Always going to be beneficial to the Gnar. So much synchronized engage coming through for INTZ. They've definitely got the ease of execution here, where I feel like BRTT is just going to have to play out of his mind to be able to navigate these fights.
I can't unsee Envy's face right now. I can't stop. There we go. Well, and yeah, BRTT is going to have to play, like you say, really, really well in all these fights. I am ever so slightly nervous because of the way that the Draven game went down last week that we won't actually see Pain Gaming play around it in the way that I think they need to.
Their composition, of course, as you've mentioned, revolves pretty much around BRTT. They've got
Mm.
Robo on the top side that will be that the carry force. And it can be pretty difficult for Karaoke to position himself to funnel both of these side lanes, right? We've got bot lane and top lane priority that needs to come through for Pain. Gyeong here, he's on a bit of a journey.
I think this guy is about to be on a journey to the afterlife. There's no backup here for him, and Lucy's chasing him down. I guess we're just letting this happen.
Trader damage. Why not?
What?
We'll give BRTT the opening 100 HP lead. There we go. Uh, Most damage dealt to anybody in the game so far, so he can't take that away. And probably, you know what, 100% of all damage dealt to champions this game has been dealt by BRTT. It's a great statistic to have.
It is. It's yeah, especially
Oh,
right
never
now.
mind.
Lucy
It's ruined.
though is gonna ruin that stat as a little bit gets pumped into him, and it's at a point where he's got to recall or go into lane with a health disadvantage. Seems like the call is to go into lane with the health disadvantage, maybe take a few chunks in the early game, and Karaoke is gonna be starting bot.
Yeah, Alistair, of course, as a champion, has inbuilt sustain. Probably
Mm.
one of the better champions to be taking these little trades on, and you never want to be sacrificing experience if you can help it. Always going to be looking to just pop a health potion, keep yourself in lane, and make sure that you're not giving over advantages where it's not necessary. Obviously, that's the reason you take two health potions. It's to regain your health here, so makes a lot of sense. Robo and Bowl on this top side. And this is what I mean about the sort of 50-50 lane matchup. Whenever Nar's in range to auto attack, Camille is in range to use her tactical sweep. So going for those trades on the Gnar, you have to be careful and you do have to think about the Camille's cooldowns because she is a very cooldown oriented top lane pick, at least in the early game before those items have come through. You do need a lot of discipline when playing to those cooldowns.
Yeah, I really like what Young did right there, going for the dismount in the brush, is looking for those little micro interactions, those small edges on BRTT, and really challenging his positioning. As level 2s are hit, it only becomes even more apparent that BRTT needs to pay respect, but isn't losing that much CS for it right now.
Of course, with rocket form as well, you can transition over, get yourself a little bit of increased range, and secure those last hits just a little bit easier
Hmm.
if you do need to. You do, of course, push the wave back just a little bit, but overall, it's not the worst thing in the world when you're picking up CS that you do end up pushing the wave. Of course, Tristana 2.0, at least when you're trying to use those rockets. Already, we do see Revolta looking for a pretty early gank up on that top side. Sweeper just fades, and they
Oh.
will have seen that he's spotted on the ward, and they both know Revolta, the jig is up. He's just going to go back into his jungle. And I love the missing ping coming out as well from the blue side. Not sure, obviously, who's put that down, but they'll have recognized Revolta doesn't have a red buff. That buff is still up for taking. And actually, taking all of that time to just walk top lane, he's going to have wasted so much time. And now Karaoke has priority on a top lane gank.
Yeah, Bowl does invest the jump defensively, and a little bit of a reinvestment might cost him his life. Revolta's coming around for the secondary gank as Karaoke, caught between a rock and a hard place, is going to need to get out. Just barely dodges the flag and drag with the flash, does secure the knockup, flashes away now into the minions as Robo wants to clean up these kills, and Tinones is looking for it as well. But the sandwich is not quite the same there, and unfortunately, Pain Gaming do walk away with a fat lot of nothing.
Both squads go away with nada right there. It was so close to being beautiful for both of the sides right there. All
Mm.
flashes committed in the top jungle duos of these squads. Revolta initially whiffing on the flag and drag, uses the flash to ensure the knockup. Really nice little micro interaction right there. Karaoke with some good side steps, but unable to convert onto anything and just prancing away with the slither of HP. Karaoke was able to keep himself alive just about using the movement speed and Robo's flash as well, just a second, a millimeter too short to be able to finish off Bowl with that precision protocol. That additional damage that you do get from the true damage would have been enough to put Bowl to at least, again, another slither of HP. Meanwhile, the things that we have to note, of course, the advantage goes in favor of INTZ right there. What they didn't do was expend Envy's teleport, and it looks like all it's going to do is give him a free base and a free reset into the mid lane. But overall, not bad.
No, not bad. And Robo hasn't burned his teleport either. And since he didn't go down, has just stuck around right now. So we might see him try and invest that one. And it hasn't come up just yet as Envy forced to flash off a nice roam from Tinones.
The self roam onto your own lane.
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah, that was a poor choice of word. Gank, I guess. I don't know what to call it.
I mean that no, it wasn't a poor choice of words. It was just funny to see them both coming from either side, and you're sort of anticipating that somebody in your own lane would be there. But here, oh, beautiful disengage. Relish just smurfed.
Lucy does not live through these. That is a rough time for him. But the important thing is that BRTT might just get a kill. Blade Caller might turn this fight, though the attack speed should be there for BRTT, and just barely gets excited and gets away. That is surprisingly large in this bot lane, but
Run,
INTZ
run,
could turn it around. Revolta
run.
looking for the flag and drag right now. Instead, it just does find Tinones, who should be able to escape with the damage reduction. Justice Punch barely gets him out to safety.
So it's a trade of 1-for-1. Both ADCs pick up the kills right there, and unfortunately, BRTT was greeding here, and he could be looking for this. He was trying to pick up the wave, the minions that he's going to miss under the turret here, and he's going to miss himself. Those 4 creeps that you see under the turret, and then also a little bit extra that are coming in now, but Robo and Bowl on the top side. Going to be scrapping it out. Ball jumps away just in time to not get Hextech ultimatumed. And Lucy here doing his support duties right now, trying to hold this wave off and trying to give BRTT as much gold as he can. Unfortunately, he is going to miss that as well. So, advantage at least goes to Mikau right there because BRTT misses a load of experience. Yes, Mikau dies, but it means that he's able to get back out on the map with full HP and reset, gets himself control over the river. We've got this dragon that is alive, sort of impending doom for a couple of these squads if they end up trying to take these advantages. But overall, I loved seeing Young right there. He looked incredibly strong on that rel and knew exactly what he needed to do at all points of that fight. Clearly very well versed in this 2v2 matchup, and particularly the support interactions.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the way that he's been playing the rel right now. Um, it's up to him, in my opinion, to carry this bot lane right now, and advantage onto Macau isn't really a huge advantage if you're INTZ, historically at the very least. Which sucks to say, but I think we also need to recognize that Pain Gaming, with a 1-for-1, actually come out ahead in the bot lane when it's onto those AD
Oh,
carries. Level 6 is hit, and Karaoke does put Revolta to sleep. There's a lot of damage here, and actually gets knocked out of the flag and drag, giving a kill over to the jungler, and it's right around Dragon as well. Pain Gaming, kind of out of nowhere, finding themselves a pick.
yeah, just Karaoke steps up, hits him with the blooming blows, and that's enough to proc Lilting Lullaby. Slow comes on through as well. Lucy just about able to get in range to find the
Oh,
headbutt pulverage combo, which ultimately seals the deal. And something as well with the Jinx buff that is worth noting, that the dis or the arm or the activation time on the Flame Chompers got decreased. So you put those down and they become active a lot faster now. So trying to layer that CC can be a lot easier. We didn't see it quite there. BRTT just fell a little bit short on those, but it's something to keep track of. Something that is obviously worth noting, that Jinx has a little bit of CC in her kit. It's not the best, and it's definitely not the best self peel that you could ever think to hope for of an AD carry, especially when you're staring at something like Xayah, for example. But it still gives a little bit of agency in a team fight.
yeah, that's going to be really important for the Jinx later on when she is being constantly collapsed on by Revolta. This time it was Revolta on the back foot. And we can expect that to continue to be true for just a little while, as Pain Gaming do have the run of the map. But once these team fights do hit that break point of, well, we got our items, we're ready to fight, INTZ are going to be looking for this Jinx, and BRTT is going to have to be very, very well positioned, and like you say, using that self peel to its maximum to stay in the game. Does have the Noon Quiver plus Berserkers right now as he heads back to lane, and Mikau up in CS quite a bit.
And he indefinitely is in this bot side of the map, and that was to be expected with the obviously stagnated backs. But we do see INTZ trying to contest this Herald.
Good engage from Lucy, finds Revolta and just deletes him one more time. Super Mega Death Rocket not going to find any death, if anything, just passes by to spot it out. Gyung is going to be trapped in with the Hextech Ultimatum. Tinones invests the Winds of War to try and take him out, and Robo flashes a little bit too early to get over that wall, maybe giving overkill onto Tinones. Heroic entrance just barely saves Robo right now, and Tinones should be the sacrificial lamb.
To
Oh
get
my
out.
lord. Oh my lord. He actually gets away. That's crazy.
Pain Gaming getting away with murder on the top side
Literal
right there. They get the
murder.
Herald. They get 2 kills, and none of them die. That is incredible stuff for them. Like, actually insane that they're able to pull off that play and not lose anything for it. Pain Gaming just showing off that right now. Then with the with that play, it's Lucy that finds a beautiful engage to start off the fight, and it's exactly what they needed. It looked so rough with Envy roaming up using that Shurima shuffle to boop Camille and Galio right into the waiting arms of Bowl. Just wasn't quite mega at that point. So unfortunately, they're going to move on. They're going to continue, but Pain Gaming get themselves pretty much everything on that top side.
Yeah, damage, I guess, just wasn't really there, and really nicely played from Tinones to not only hold the heroic entrance, but then when he did use it, buying just the extra little bit of space for Robo. I'm shocked with the coordination that Pain Gaming have right now, and very, very impressed. It's netted them not only that neutral objective, but now like these kills that we're gonna see. This is a crazy angle, but the engage nonetheless.
Yeah, Robo quite nicely taking his time on killing Young right here, does expend the Hextech Ultimatum just to ensure it. But it's about now when everything just looks so bad for Pain. Flash, of course, as you mentioned, didn't quite make it over, and there we do know that they do both get away. And I want to draw this back to your point earlier about the team fighting stages that are going to become so important. At the minute, we're 600 gold difference right now. There's nothing really to speak of for either of these squads that becomes too troublesome, too worrying. And we've drawn our attention to the ADCs because we know that later on they're going to be the ones that need to pump out the damage and be in a difficult spot. Revolta, though,
Yeah, Revolta just straight up goes in. Cataclysm plus the taunt is not enough. Three-man sleep also, similarly, not
don't
enough.
do it.
As Karaoke thought about going right back in, but unfortunately was not able to make anything happen. He deserved it after the three-man.
Yep. I was very worried that Karaoke was going to try and just go in there right there, but didn't. Held his breath, manages to keep himself safe at the very least. BRTT on the bot side, though, does pick himself up 2 plates. That's effectively a kill onto the Jinx right there for a single roam that they went for into the mid lane. Obviously, Young spending a little bit of time, spent his ulti as well. So There's a little bit of time where Pain Gaming get themselves some advantages back, and again, more gold onto the Jinx, exactly where Pain Gaming need it.
Yeah, right now BRTT's just been hanging out in lane for quite a while. I'd kill to see what kind of gold he's currently sitting on, and will be, I expect, hanging out in lane for quite a bit longer until he does pick up that mythic. What does Jinx go nowadays?
If she doesn't go Gale Force here, then I'm very sad. You have to
Hmm.
get away from Narv and engage. It's Narvan and Rel. It's far too much to not go it to not be going for Gale Force. There's an argument to be made that if you're Giga fed, that you can go Kraken Slayer and kill them before they kill you. BRTT doesn't fit this philosophy. He's 1-0-1, yes, but he's got himself a couple of plates, got himself a CS disadvantage actually, which doesn't really favor too well for him. But he's not at that stage of I can just kill them all.
BRTT might, in actuality, not fit that, but I feel like BRTT's personality might get us a
Yeah.
Kraken Slayer. That's gonna. He's got the pickaxe right. Oh no, I never build Gale Force. I only go like Immortal Shield Bow or Kraken Slayer. I know
Um,
nothing else.
so Gale Force and Kraken Slayer have the same components.
Okay.
You just pick them. You just pick the different one at the end. It's Shield Bow that you can tell which one they're going for because the Vamp Scepter is in the inventory, but both giving Crit Cloak, Pickaxe, and the Noon Quiver there. You can never tell which mythic that an ADC is going to go for until they've picked it up. Fortunately, though, we don't have to wait too much longer for some action as Robo getting the flash out of ball on the top side of the map and expending the Herald there as well, whilst looks like INTZ going for play bot side.
Wow, very nice
Beautiful.
spot from Lucy to deny that. Yeah, but you're right. INTZ playing really well with the map right now. Do answer back and get some much needed gold onto Macau. I think Pain Gaming are about as impressed with that as I am. It's not a win condition, in my opinion, but we'll find out. It,
BRTT is in danger here. Three people
yeah.
still down bot side and
Four
TP's
people
not
with the
available.
teleport, and that's going to be a very, very dead Jinx. There's no Gale Force, no Flash, no nothing gets to be used. And now
Oh,
Lucy
MV's
also
here
in
as
equal
well.
trouble. Why are there 5 people bot? I don't understand what's happening right now.
Oh, well, they're picking up kills, they're picking up turrets. INTZ get themselves a very good play right there. The trade across the rest of the map is what we have to look at. And Robo picks himself up a turret on the top side. This other win condition that we'd highlighted for Pain was this split push Camille. She's got herself a lot of gold off of that. She'll pick up a solo turret herself. And in the mid lane as well, Galio picking himself up a little bit of farm and not going to be ahead of the Azir in CS by any means because the Azir should just dominate that lane. But it's always good to try and recuperate these advantages. You can see that INTZ, with all of that, only level in gold right now. The TP's unavailable at the time for the Pain Gaming squad to try and answer back. Just mean that INTZ get themselves a load of advantages, but they're not unresponded to on the other side of the map.
Yeah, just 5 minutes ago, we did have 1,000 gold and 1 dragon in favor of Pain Gaming, completely evened up right now. Maybe even you could argue a little bit in the favor of INTZ. We're going to get another one of these games where the team fights are really going to be the
Oh,
deciders right now. What? What's wrong?
BRTT but Kraken Slayer. No, I
Ah,
knew that he
dude.
was going to do it. But okay, BRTT has a habit of mispositioning in the late game team fights when it matters the most.
Mm.
He's been the one that gets consistently caught out for Pain Gaming, and he's built himself up this item which doesn't help him, doesn't aid him at all. And you know what? This is going to be the game where he changes my mind. It's going to be the game where he reforms to old BRTT, where he just 1v9 Mega Smurfs everybody and comes out on top of the team fight. But it's going to be so difficult for him to do so because this is what the draft led to, right? We saw this
Mm.
priority on not Zaya is the important part for Pain Gaming, and we knew what both squads were going to be going for. This heavy team fight style where Zaya would have had so much priority, and Pain Gaming, they ban away the Senna, they ban away the Ezreal. They know that Zaya is going to be the one that gets picked up, and they don't take it for themselves. They don't have another option that is safe at least to help out in these team fights. And Revolta has a single job in this game now, which is just to ult Jinx. He can do that, they can win the team fight because everybody else will just pile in, pile on top, and that's not Jinx.
No, Lucy gets found out here, and BRTT is ready to back him up. But Young's quite tanky. Heroic Entrance is going to buy a little bit of time, and we might see the Jinx get excited as Karaoke does pick up a kill, and BRTT gets that additional attack speed. Revolta goes right back in with the flash, knocks up BRTT, but the flash away keeps him safe until he's given into the arms of Macau. Going golden is Revolta as the fight is finished off, and INTZ come out much better.
Yep, they get themselves 3 kills and they only drop Gyong in the exchange. So beautiful stuff right there for INTZ. It's important, and I'm glad that we've spectated this right now. That Pain Gaming didn't have Camille this entire time.
Mm.
Robo has been forming up a storm and playing for himself right now, playing to his own advantage. Of course, has no teleport, so couldn't join the team anyway. But it's going to be a real question mark as to how well this Camille can perform, because at the minute, obviously doesn't have the greatest ability to split push just with a single item. But as we get later and later into the game, more and more items picked up from the Camille, she should be looking to decimate these side lanes. And whilst it might take her 15, 20 seconds to take a turret right now, come 30 minutes or so, it's going to take her much less time.
I'm gonna tell you right now, this is exactly what happened. Robo, he heard BRTT go, I'm gonna build Kraken Slayer this game, and he went, I'm not joining any fights. I am our alternate win condition. I'm gonna be the one to carry this game one way or another. And that's what I can see as being the argument for why we haven't seen Robo involved in anything yet, because there have been multiple times where he could have been. But right now, just sort of leaving the team not out to dry, but in a little bit of a sticky spot as they try and make these team fights go even. Robo's been getting stuff across the map, and BRTT has no flash.
They can just engage on him at any given moment, though. This is the issue with Jinx, and I'm very surprised that they didn't opt into that one right there. Tinone still doesn't have that heroic entrance, and Lucy can only disengage so many members on the Alistair. Either way, they don't go for the engage, and that's not going to really matter. And it looks like Pain Gaming are going to get themselves this first Ocean Dragon of the Rift, because INTZ seemingly just do not care.
Yeah,
Going to opt
yeah.
into a trade, going to go for a top lane turret instead. I'm not against this, getting a little bit of gold onto Envy. He gets himself a kill's worth of gold right there. But in the mid lane, Pain Gaming opting into this Rift Herald. They've got BRTT here to wail on these turrets. If there's something that Jinx does very well, it is kill turrets with that minigun. So definitely going to be fine to do that one.
Ooh, over the wall goes Bull, but Robo follows him up. The Mega is there
Oh,
as the Mega Death
ah.
Rocket connects, and Carioca, once again, he keeps picking up kills when BRTT could. But, it's the power of the Lilia. The extra dot damage, it's making the work.
Yeah, and right there, it's a nice pickup for Pain once again. They've definitely just out macroed INTZ on a massive level. They get themselves Drake mid tier 1 and a kill as well. They lose top tier 1, great, whatever. Azir gets a little bit of gold. We as a team get much more, and we're in a better position at least to trying to start take these team fights, which we've just not seen be as explosive as we're expecting. I'm waiting for you see the Reddit clips where everybody dies and there's just a Karthus and a Xayah that both get pentakills off of the back of them dying to one
Mm-hmm.
another. And I want to see these types of team fights come on through, not these hesitant ones where everybody's just leaving on slithers of HP and managing to get themselves away. Either way, though, when we get toward those objectives that teams need to start fighting for, that's when we'll see the team fight starting to erupt. We've got Baron on the table now. We've reached 20 minutes. We're going to have some Ocean Dragons spawning up in about 3.5 minutes. That's going to be something that both gate teams are going to be looking towards. INTZ going to be looking to deny Soul Point. Pain Gaming going to be looking to get there for themselves. And moving forward, these teams should be looking to scrap. It's exactly what their team fights, or what their team compositions rather, are built for. So I want to see them try and opt into it.
Yeah, right now it's going to be a dance, and we're going to see a lot of dancing during this game because you don't want to take the wrong team fight for sure. Macau does get hit and can be put to sleep. I think that's going to be what I'm really looking for, is these sort of wayward swirl seeds abilities from Carioca that can take a carry out of a fight, even if you can put somebody like Bull or Envy to sleep. Getting that small man advantage for just a little while is what's going to put Pain Gaming over the edge, especially if it's somebody who can shut down or out damage BRTT.
And when we get to the late game, what I want to keep track of is hyper carries are hyper carries for a reason, right? They're always going to be fundamentally useful in the late game. But Pain Gaming, they've got two. Where on the other side, it feels like INTZ, they've got themselves three more useful members, right? We're looking at Ball, who feels a little bit lackluster so far on the Gnar, and hasn't found those pivotal engages. What I want to do is draw the difference of Galio versus Azir in the late game. Galio becomes an ult bot, a CC bot, and yes, he has meaningful damage, but he's very cooldown oriented, doesn't have those sustained damage bursts like Envy.
And Carioca about to be taken down as well. Lucy considered to be gone already, does burn the flash over the wall. INTZ let that one go as Robo decides to go in, almost takes out Envy, but can't be knocked out of the Hextech ultimatum. The follow-up is there from Tinones, and they shut him
Beautiful.
down, picking up 2 kills for themselves in the meantime. Now the chase is on as Revolta almost gets finished off, and Macau manages to find himself in safety under the tower, does not burn the Featherstorm, still has the defensive tools. Pain Gaming can't find him, but they do find several kills, and they might just find themselves the Baron.
Oh, they should almost definitely find the Baron. We finally get to see Camille Galio combo come online
I
right
like
there, and
Emil.
they use it much better than they use it much better than the Northern combo has been piloted by INTZ Macau trying to stop this. But you're 1v5 here, my dude.
Yeah, he's looking for the damage over the wall. There's not actually a whole lot of dashes outside of Lucy, so feeling pretty safe right now. He's going to eat a big crit from
Volta?
BRTT. Could go down here. Super Mega Death Rocket, is it up? It's not. And the teleport instead does get invested from INTZ. Maybe looking for a little bit of chase down. Revolta has the Cataclysm. He's in quite far ahead of everybody else, but a big shuffle in from Envy. Gets interrupted by
Oh,
the
no.
taunt, and he gets shut down. Double Sleep comes in, and that's going to be Young going down. Pain Gaming are cleaning up kill after kill after kill. Macau is still alive, but now Robo finds him, and that is going to be it. The shutdown does get picked up by Pain Gaming. Karaoke goes under the tower. Bowl is looking for the kill. Doesn't find the Gnar, though. A triple kill for this dear Karaoke. Pain Gaming, they find the Baron, they find the kills, and they've exploded this game.
I mean, that's just game here, dear. Like, it's not going to be the end of the Nexus exploding, but that was such a big swing in favor of Pain Gaming. INTZ, they lose the initial fight and they lose the Baron. They can come back from that. What they can't come back from is feeding another 5 kills over and not taking Baron off of anybody right here. We talked about Pain Gaming wanting to use Camille in a side lane to try and punish INTZ for trying to go for a heavy team fight composition, and now they're up against this Camille who's got Baron, got a timeout for split push, got Sterax as well to aid in her diving assets. It's just going to be so difficult for anybody to stop Robo, who's incredibly strong on this Camille. That entire time, it didn't matter that BRTT didn't have Gale Force because INTZ didn't care about the Jinx. They need to be looking for Jinx if they're looking to take these team fights, and they just weren't. They were finding, scraps of an engage onto Lucy, onto Tinones, who are not your primary focus here if you're INTZ. Just lackluster engages, and honestly, it's going to cost them this game.
Yeah, and right now it does not seem like they can come back from such a deficit, and that's sort of the best of one format, right? You have one thing that sort of goes wrong that you maybe misfocus, and now all of a sudden very very difficult to win, if at all possible. Pain Gaming really looking for these last couple autos on the turret. Will find them as the split push is in full effect.
Oh.
Xayah goes to sleep, is half health under the tower. As it looks like Robo went in there, but now getting knocked up, getting CC'd to eternity. Does burn the Hextech ultimatum just to stay alive, and will, as Lucy's tanking up the remainder of the tower. Heroic entrance doesn't find anybody. Macau actually finds the root, and it will be the shutdown on Robo that lets INTZ walk away. Super Mega Death Rocket just barely going wide right there.
And you know what? Not a bad trade here for INTZ. They get themselves a couple of kills, and yes, they're going to lose their inhibitor. But honestly, staring down a Baron and staring down the gold deficit that they were at, I could see that have been going a lot worse, and that could have very easily been the end of the game right there. Envy, pretty much free hitting that entire time, was stood in the Winds of War, so did take a big chunk of damage from that Galio for almost no reason. If he'd have just taken, a little bit of time to reposition himself, would have been all right to make himself a little bit healthier, and does dodge out on the Super Mega Death Rocket, so it's not the worst situation in the world. But we're starting to see the power of these late game hyper carries, and Mikau with just a single Blade Caller almost not. Which did a massive chunk onto Robo, which was almost his downfall in the end right there. And Envy, as we know, is going to be a monster on the Azir, so we will have to keep our track on these guys and make sure that INTZ aren't out of this game just yet. We know that in the late game, Azir is going to be a much stronger carry than the Galio, but if Galio is able to get all of his cooldowns off and they aren't dodged by the Azir, then there's always a world where he finds more agency and finds more input, especially with Camille Galio combination. You can never doubt the power that this duo will have.
Also, just remind me after the game, Rudud, the highlights, and when we're watching the highlights of this game, assuming Pain Gaming win, Tinones is the MVP. Right? Just remind me that is my opinion, and I will try and justify it as much as I can during the highlights. I can't do it right now because I need you to see it, But I am of the opinion that he's been playing this game remarkably well, and even though that last heroic entrance didn't find anybody, has been providing a lot of safety to the otherwise immobile BRTT and a lot of great follow-up to Robo.
And speaking of BRTT right there, he's got himself the Infinity Edge, got himself that 3-item power spike, 60% crit chance means the critical strikes from the Jinx are going to be hurting just even more. Right now, staring down this not even very tanky front line, honestly, that
Mm.
INTZ have picked up for themselves. They've got Sunfire Aegis and the components of a Thornmail. I'd love to see Last Whisper come on through, get that Lord Dominic's going for Jinx, just so that you can chew through the front line even more so. Because Gnar has got Ninja Tabbies for armor. Yes, the Jarvan and yes, the Rel are looking a little bit more intimidating with the stealing resistances and just the armor that Revolta has built up for himself. But it's not going to be too difficult for them to cut through, especially with Robo. Has all of this true damage now, 3 items on the Camille, GA as well. Everything is looking so good right now for Pain Gaming that they can honestly just play it as slow as they like and they're still going to be fine for a couple more minutes. They've got the mountain or the Ocean Drake spawning in 1 minute 20, Baron spawning even sooner than that. If they're able to pick up those objectives, they'll get the Soul, they'll get the Baron. And at the minute, I don't see a way of INTZ contesting this in a fight.
Yeah, both of those objectives, even individually, could be game ending. And right now, it seems like Pain Gaming are prioritizing the Baron. Like you say, the objective that spawns a little bit sooner, and BRTT's positioning, we remember, is potentially the downfall of Pain Gaming right now. So we got to keep an eye on him. Seems like he's pretty safe right now.
Yeah, and it looks like Lucy could be going for an engage right here. Swell Seed searching, and they've got themselves the Azir turret to try and fall back to. But for the minute, it's just not looking too easy to find these engages. It's something that Pain Gaming are going to be struggling with here, especially with Lucy in the front line. They're fishing for Swell Seed engage and then just walking Lucy through the front door.
Oh my lord, Revolta, big chunk taken out of him there is going to make it impossible to contest this Baron up right now. And INTZ just trying to get a little bit of mid priority are going to be late on the rotation here if they can even find their way in.
No, it doesn't look like they're going to be looking for it through the river right now, and they need to position their carries in such a way that they're behind the front line right here. Macau and Envy stepping up so close is going to be very difficult. The Baron already gone. They're not going to try and take the fight because they don't win it, and quite rightly so. You don't want to take the fight. They don't want to int it away like they did last time. But here comes the
Oh,
engage.
Young instead goes for it. Big Shurima Shuffle takes down
Oh,
BRTT.
huge.
And that is Karaoke BRTT gone. The two carries so far are wiped off the map for Pain Gaming. Nobody else is around. They can get themselves this dragon. Robo is looking for your base right now. Oh, instead hunting him down. Might be a collapse onto this guy. I expect this is the dragon, though.
Yeah, going to be the denial taking away this soul point, but Robo is incredibly strong here. This 3v4 might look like it might be favored for INTZ, but you can never out factor a Camille right here. And looks like INTZ, they do exactly what they need to do right there. Gyong with the beautiful engage and saving his team right there, honestly. It's going to buy so much time. Not only do they lose timing on the Baron, that's a minute of it wasted, whilst they're just waiting for respawns alone. They're going to be waiting for them to set up vision in the next sort of minute, next 30 seconds or so, whilst they get out onto the map. They deny Soul coming on through as well, so that's going to be 5 minutes before that ever powerful buff comes on out. Really decent stuff there from INTZ. Gyong in turn making it happen, and Envy should just be dead.
Yeah, the
Oh, good
Hextech
Zhonya's.
Ultimatum actually got cancelled by that Zhonya's, actually.
Yes, perfect
Holy
Zhonya's.
moly.
That's what you do with Xayah ulti as well. If you time it rightly, you can still put the Camille ulti on cooldown, and you can mitigate it yourself. Perfect timing from Envy. Saves himself his life there.
That is incredible play from the Azir to stay alive right now. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough as Robo continues to look for these advantages. He's still got the Baron buff, so very, very healthily, very, very happily pushing down and is joined by BRTT, who has lost his. Let's see if Gyong can
Oh
make
no.
the magic happen right now. Super Mega Death Rocket connects. Does chunk out the members of INTZ just a little bit. And hey, as Pain Gaming, that's all you need because their mid inhibitor is naked and their top inhibitor is about to be. Pain do push that one down and now should be able to double inhib for themselves. INTZ, do they make an engage happen?
They're going to need to try if they opt into a third inhibitor right here. Typically, the trend is you can give 2 inhibitors. The second that third one falls, you're pretty much sealing your own death warrant, so you want to fight around that third inhib going down. It looks like INTZ recognizing this. They're going to just spend their time clearing out these minions. And for 3 minutes, it doesn't really matter. They're going to have Drake spawning in 3 minutes, but for the time being, that's just more gold that's going to get funneled into INTZ with those inhibited or with those super minions. It's very unlikely that Pain Gaming are going to be able to capitalize on every single wave of minions that is coming out. In a response, they're going to be taking out INTZ's jungle, so it's not the worst situation for them. But obviously, we know that inhibitors are down for 5 minutes, not just 3 minutes here. They're going to be waiting for that elapsing of those cooldowns to come on up where they have the inhibitors down and Drake is up and Baron is up. You can see that the buff just wearing out now means that we are going to have that Baron buff respawning in about 2.5, 3 minutes right here. So for the time being, Pain Gaming, their macro is incredibly simple. They go bot lane, they pressure there with a big wave. They don't have Baron to siege it up, but they don't need it. Super minions in the other 2 lanes mean that INTZ need to find an engage now before minions start hitting on their Nexus turrets.
We watch BRTT positioning once again, but he gets
Oh.
caught out by the Blade Caller, almost taken down. The Cataclysm might just catch him, but he goes golden to buy time. He's dead right now, but the heroic entrance finds the knock-up onto multiple members. Macau still pumping out damage from the backline is the hope of INTZ, but Camille in the front line gets gnarred into the wallop to follow it up. The damage is just there as Macau goes golden, canceling the Camille ultimate, and INTZ have saved this fight.
BRTT again in the pivotal moments, just getting the misstep, and Mikal actually, somehow the Xayah finding the engage is never what we expect to see, but it is something that we love to see as well.
God.
Finds the root, and the rest of the team just go ham on it, quite rightly so as well. They dive on in, they take down the Jinx, and then all eyes have to be on this Camille. Robo dives on in and manages to pick himself up 1 kill, but it's only onto the Jarvan, and that's not your leading target right here. Envy pumping out damage this entire time, and actually a really good Gnar ulti from Bol, keeping the Camille penned on in, making sure that she cannot dish out the damage, and making sure that INTZ are alive for just a little bit longer. This is by no means a turn in the game right here. Pain Gaming have still got themselves a lot of a gold lead. They've still got the priority with inhibitors down, with Soul Point in their favor. Everything's still looking good for Pain, but if INTZ are able to find that engage again, we could be right back at that even gold point.
Dude, it is a huge team fight from Macau, and if we get another one like that, I'm gonna have to eat my words. This guy actually carried that team fight, and I know that I was trashing on him, but oh my lord, he really showed us what he's made of today. INTZ very clearly being able to put in the practice with him outside of game. Now we're gonna be tested one more time in 27 seconds.
No flash, no heal on the Jinx right here either. This is a very immobile champion. Bol building up that rage bar, getting himself on that nice yellow teetering position that means that you're able to do something quite happy. Tinone's pushing on the top side, and Robo rather pushing on the bot side. This is a very good split push coming through. Robo just chews through these turrets. INTZ needs to take the Drake, but it's not even spawned yet. This inhibitor is just going to fall.
No matter what you're doing, you're losing right now. Envy does manage to get Camille out of her own ultimate, and Robo could just go down right now. Does, in fact. Tinone's has already arrived to find a pick gone, and with Macau and Gyong off the board, Revolta is being chased down. Lucy's going for it. BRTT's here to follow up. The Mega Death Rocket finds the double kill for Pain Gaming, and Karyoka's finishing off this dragon, but it is the end of the game for Pain as they find those last couple picks, and too big of a hole was created for INTZ. They cannot find a way out now.
Envy has the potential to wave clear right here. I don't want to say that this isn't game, because it definitely very well could be, but Envy, incredibly strong. They are staring down Ocean Soul, and BRTT...
Come on, man. Okay, he lives. BRTT is fine right now, and Envy's still pumping out quite a bit of damage from the backline. Isn't quite enough to clear these waves and clear the champions at the same time, so it seems like Pain Gaming with these super minions should be able to end the game. BRTT does not get stunned, importantly, but almost gets taken down. Envy can't quite find him, tries to Shurima shuffle in and does find the kill, but it will be traded back. Macau does not, he can't do this. There's no way he actually has the damage in the face of all these super minions. The fight is there, but it is not quite enough, and Macau and INTZ will fall to Pain Gaming.